It's evening. The house is quiet. There's no dramatic music, no explosions, no action. Just a husband and wife speaking in their own home. Yet somehow the tension is almost unbearable. Tension, not physical tension, emotional tension. When we say there was a lot of tension in the room, for instance, we mean everyone could feel that something important was about to happen. Native speakers, we use that expression all the time. This is what happened before this conversation. Walter White, he's become deeply involved in an extremely dangerous criminal world. His wife is Skylar. She's gradually discovered just how serious the situation has become. She's reached a point where she genuinely fears for her family's safety. And at the beginning of this scene, that's exactly what she's trying to explain to Walter. She isn't trying to criticize him. She isn't trying to win an argument. She's frightened. Actually, she's terrified. So remember that scale: worried, afraid, frightened, terrified. Skylar isn't simply nervous. She believes that one day something dangerous could arrive at their front door. She imagines armed criminals, violence, the possibility that Walter, her husband, could simply disappear. You can almost hear her thinking, "Don't you understand how dangerous this has become?" Notice that expression. To understand how serious or dangerous something has become. Native speakers use this structure constantly. We say things like, "Do you understand how expensive everything has become?" "I don't think he understands how difficult this is." It's really a natural piece of English. Walter listens. He doesn't interrupt. He lets Skylar speak. That's interesting in itself. Sometimes the silence creates more suspense than the shouting. Suspense is a feeling of waiting and wondering, not knowing what's about to happen. Now there's a turning point. Things change. Skylar believes Walt is the potential victim. From her perspective, he's in danger. He's the man who needs protection. But Walt looks at her almost as though she's misunderstood everything. He begins explaining calmly that she's looking at the situation the wrong way. He isn't denying, he isn't saying no or arguing that dangerous people don't exist. He's denying that he's afraid of them. Then his posture changes. He stands a little straighter. His voice becomes steady, not louder, steadier. And he paints a picture for Skylar. He describes, this is what we call painting a picture verbally, the kind of terrifying event she fears. Someone arriving at the house, someone at the door. Someone whose presence changes everything in an instant. Skylar assumes, she thinks, that Walter is imagining himself as the person inside the house, the victim, the frightened man. But Walter completely reverses the image. He tells her that she has misunderstood who actually holds the power, who is actually in charge here. He finishes with the now famous words, "I am the one who knocks." And that's it. No dramatic speech, no long monologue, just one sentence. Let's stop there for just a moment. Why has that sentence become so famous? It's because it completely changes our understanding, our perception of Walter White. At the beginning of this series, the beginning of Breaking Bad, Walter is someone life seems to have pushed around. That's a phrasal verb. To push someone around, it means to bully them, to control them, to manipulate them, to treat them as though they don't matter. For years, Walter appears to be exactly that sort of person, someone who accepts whatever life gives him. But in this scene, he no longer sees himself that way. Whether he's right or wrong is another question entirely. What's important is that he believes it. Now, this is interesting, the way the scene is performed or acted. Many people remember it as a loud, angry speech. But if you go back and watch it again, it isn't. And that's one of the reasons it's so effective. Walt doesn't need to shout. His voice is controlled, measured, almost cold. Sometimes that's far more intimidating than someone screaming. That's a useful adjective, intimidating. Someone or something that makes other people feel nervous or afraid. You could say the interview panel was a little intimidating, or speaking in front of 500 people can be intimidating. Now imagine you are Skylar, his wife. You've spent months worrying about your husband. You believe you're trying to protect him. Then suddenly you realize the man standing in front of you doesn't see himself as someone needing protection at all. You can almost see the shock on her face. It's not just fear anymore, it's confusion. She's looking at the same man, but she feels as though she's talking to a stranger. The conversation isn't really about criminals, it's about identity. If you notice something interesting about Walter's language, he isn't talking about what he hopes to become. He isn't saying, one day I will be powerful, I'll be powerful. He's speaking in the present. That's important. English often uses the present simple to express identity. I'm a doctor. I'm British. I'm a father. Those aren't temporary situations. They are statements about who someone believes they are. And this scene works because Walter is making a statement about identity, not prediction. This is how we look at this from a British point of view. It's a little different the way this scene is perceived in Britain. British culture often values understatement. We sometimes express confidence by saying less, not more. If someone walks into a pub, for instance, after a promotion at work, and started talking about how powerful they'd become, how great they were, there'd almost certainly be someone quietly sipping a pint who would mutter, who would say quietly, he's getting a little bit above himself. To get above yourself, it means someone has become rather arrogant because of their success. He's getting a little above himself. It's British. You won't often hear Americans use that. Another expression you might hear in Britain is he's lost the plot. Originally, it referred to a story that stopped making sense. Today we use it when someone starts behaving irrationally, going crazy. He's lost the plot. Now, I'm not saying Walter has lost the plot, but it's interesting that audiences disagree. Some viewers think he's finally become confident. Others think he's become dangerously arrogant. I suppose that's the beauty of great storytelling. It allows two different people to watch exactly the same scene and come away with completely different opinions. If we zoom out for a moment, if you've never watched Breaking Bad, why should this scene matter? It's because the entire series explores one enormous question. Can ordinary people become extraordinary? Or can ambition slowly transform us into something we never imagined we'd become? Walter White begins the story as an ordinary chemistry teacher. By the time we reach this scene, he's become someone capable of seeing himself in an entirely different light. Skylar, meanwhile, she represents the audience. She's trying to understand the transformation, the change. Jesse Pinkman, this is Walt's former student and now his partner in crime, he's going through his own emotional journey at the same time, making the relationships between these three characters some of the richest in modern television. So before we finish, I'd like to leave you with 4 questions that will help your English. I could ask, in a typical class, and I've been teaching this way in Colombia for the past 16 years, since 2010, have you ever completely changed your opinion about someone? Can confidence become arrogance? Does power change people? I've seen that on a number of occasions. Or does it reveal who they really are? Does it change them, or does it just reveal who they really are? And finally, if you were Skylar in that room, would Walter's words reassure you or frighten you even more? Pause the podcast if you'd like. Answer those questions out loud in English. Don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are really, really important. That's how you learn. That's how fluency grows. So why did this scene become iconic? Because in less than 2 minutes, without car chases, explosions, or any special effects, it transforms our understanding of a character we've been watching for years at this point. It reminds us that the most unforgettable moments in storytelling, they often happen in the quietest rooms. For English learners, scenes like this are gold. They teach us not just vocabulary, but emotion and tone, culture, and the subtle ways native speakers communicate. Thank you so much for listening to Listen Global English. Next time we'll put another unforgettable scene under the microscope, discover why it became iconic, and along the way, continue building the kind of English that native speakers really use. Until then, take care, keep listening, keep learning, keep improving your English. As we say back home in Britain, cheers for now.